Why, in the beginning of the Torah, is the description of creating human beings given twice in two completely different stories? Is one of them true and the other one's not? Does this prove that the Bible is bogus? Looking for the lightning to come in here. We're going to find out together in this video. So keep watching and we might learn something together. But first, let me say thank you for watching this video. If you like the cut of my jib, I highly recommend you subscribe to this channel. There's a button around here that says subscribe on it. Even better, ding that little bell. Ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling. That way you'll be notified every time another video drops on this channel, and you won't miss a single answer to the important questions that we discuss. Now let's get into it. In this week's Parsha, that is the Torah portion of the week, at the time of the recording of this video, we're reading Parashat Bereishit. That is the very first of the 50 plus weekly readings we have in the Torah, so that we complete the whole Torah over the course of the year. And this week's reading is chapter 1, verse 1 of the Bible, the very beginning of it, through chapter 6, verse 8, until we get to the story of Noah. And one of the most puzzling things in this pretty far out reading, I mean, we got the whole creation of the world and stuff going on here, and later on there's like the invention of murder, the whole Cain and Abel business. There is a very perplexing conundrum, a dilemma, an enigma, if you will, that in Genesis chapter 1, it talks about the creation of the first human being. And then in Genesis chapter 2, it talks about the creation of the first human being. And these stories are very different from each other. In Genesis chapter 1, God says, let's make humans in our image, and male and female, God created them and said, you need to go fill the earth and dominate it, and you are master over all the beasts of the field and the fishes of the seas and all the creepy crawly things. You are boss. And in chapter 2, instead, it says God takes a handful of dust of the earth and blows some life into it and creates a dude, right? Just a dude, not the lady. Lady comes later. So first off, it's already different in that respect. And second, it says God put the dude in the garden and said, your job is to work this garden and protect it. You are to serve nature rather than to master it, as we read in Genesis chapter 1, and to protect nature. You are a steward, a servant, and a guardian of the earth, as it were, right? Over here, master of the earth. Over here, guardian and steward and servant of the earth. In this Kona, male and female created at the same time. In this Kona, male first, female a little bit later. Over here, created in God's image. Over here, lump of dirt. And this double telling of the same story in different words with very different missions for humanity has led some skeptics to question the validity of the Torah. If the Torah was true, it would tell that one story the same way. And if it was going to repeat it, it would say it the same way the second time, even if it needed to repeat it, which it doesn't, and fair. We learned from Rav Joseph Soloveitchik, however, who learned from other rabbis going all the way back to the Talmud, that these two stories are really talking about the same event from two different perspectives and can teach us a very valuable lesson about not only the complexity of human existence, but also the Torah's recognition of that complexity. As Rabbi Soloveitchik writes in his book, The Lonely Man of Faith, which I highly recommend and have a link in the description of this video if you want to check that out yourself. It's a quick book, philosophically somewhat dense, but very, very worthwhile in my opinion. In this book, Rob Soloveitchik points out that yes, on the one hand, humanity is charged with dominating the earth. And this isn't like, necessarily apex predator stuff and we could do whatever the heck we feel like since we're in charge. It means that we get to be creative like God is creative. It gives us this mission right after it says we are created in God's image, after God's likeness, meaning we are smart, intelligent, creative, capable beings. We can take what's given to us on earth and create new things, making us, in effect, God's partners in the ongoing creation of the world. We have that ability, but with that ability comes a grave responsibility. At the same time, we are made of humble stuff. We are made of the same material as the cosmos. Dust of the earth with a little bit of holiness blown into it. And our job, even as we are charged with being creative, is to take care of what we are given, to serve nature and to protect it. A human being is not just one thing with one job. And philosophies or theologies that try to oversimplify us don't get us at all. As humans, we're often drawn in multiple directions at once. We strive to be creative, we strive to make our mark in the world, and we strive to meet our responsibilities, and sometimes these things pull us in two different directions. And the Torah recognizes that right out of the gate. And when we ask our tradition, are we supposed to be creative and dominant, or are we supposed to be humble servants and stewards of the world that we were given? The answer is yes. And both of these missions are holy missions. You don't get to say that people shouldn't be creative. They should just be meek and try to live their life and not make any kind of impact at all. Just follow the rules and play along and don't color outside the lines. That is denying our existence as creatures made in the divine image, capable of reason and creativity and building and all sorts of great stuff. At the same time, we can't just be creative. We got to pay our bills, yo. We need to take care of the people that we're responsible for. We need to take care of the animals that we're responsible for. We need to take care of the earth that we're responsible for. And that too is a holy mission. And the journey of life is about creating balance between those two natural, God-given, and holy impulses. And that's why, according to Rav Soloveitchik, the Torah tells us the story of the creation of humans twice in two very different ways, because our tradition recognizes that human beings are complicated creatures, and that doesn't mean we're broken or we're wrong for being pulled in different directions. It instead gives us free will, there's a whole Apple story, and multiple responsibilities to try to keep up with in order to live the best and holiest life possible. And I'll say from here on out, the rest of the Torah is pretty much a very complicated instruction manual on how to do just that. Thank you for learning about this week's Torah portion, Parashat Bereishit, with me. If you have any questions about what we've talked about or comments of your own on this part of the Torah, please put them in the comments below. While you're here, check out another video on this channel. And if you're ready to upgrade your Jewish learning and take it to the next level, check out this handy guide that I prepared for you. Once again, thank you for learning with me, Hero. And until next time, peace.